right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's Monday morning Mastermind, Columbus Day edition, the fake holiday. As a result, we have a lot of people that are off playing and not working today because of the fake holiday. So we've got a little bit reduced attendance over those to be expected, given that a lot of people on 3-day weekends or whatever. So we don't need to elongate this thing, but for those of you that are here, I admire your commitment to your career, your profession, your success, and taking the time to be here today. We got a lot of stuff that I want to cover with you guys. And really the gist of this, I don't have a big slideshow prepared, but the gist of this is going to be very, very simple, so that I want to show you guys how I work and what you guys need to be doing so that we can get you some traction, get you some deals closed, so there's not all this floundering and people are actually, closing deals consistently and making money. It is not rocket science. There is no mystery to it, okay? I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, and if you follow what is proven to work, how you guys can do it too. I was just on another webinar, so I assume that you guys can put something over there in the question section. Is the audio still okay? Everybody, audio still okay? Good? No? Too much blown out? Yes? Fantastic. All right. So we're going to create this on the fly so I can show you what needs to happen here, okay? So basically, here's the bottom line. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. First and foremost, you guys need to understand, when you're out there and you're actively working in a business, whatever that business is, but if you're working here to do the real estate investing deals, excuse me, it is not rocket science, okay? What does it take? It takes consistency of action, but you also have to have well-intentioned actions with an objective, and this is what most people have. If you guys have never been trained professionally in sales, okay, and I guess a lot of you probably have not, you may not know this, which is why we're going to cover this today, okay? And I'm going to tell you this if you will follow exactly what I'm going to show you right now. There is zero possibility, okay, zero possibility that you will not be making 6 figures this year, okay? Zero possibility, okay? And that's the key thing. You guys need to understand that for what we're talking about. So what is that? First and foremost, okay, in sales they call it a sales quota. You have a monthly sales quota that you're trying to meet. This is all this is. Every business is a sales organization. You guys need to understand that, okay? So what is the goal? What is your objective? Most people don't even have one, and they certainly don't have it written out. And then, even if they do have it written out, then they don't have a how to eat an elephant plan on how to actively get there, okay? For you guys who have not seen the How to Eat an Elephant video, or a webinar that I did years ago, I'll break it out for you here. Real simple, right now. This is how you do it, okay? I'm telling you, this is how it's done, okay? So please pay attention. So you have your goal, whatever that goal is, and then you're going to break that goal out into the effective day-to-day steps that are going to be required to get there. So in sales, when I worked in different sales capacities, it's no different now. We have an objective. How much money do I want to make this month? Okay. All right. So let's just say 180,000 this month. Say 180,000 this month. Okay. Here, let's do round numbers. Say 200,000 this month. Right. So to make 200,000 this month, what do I have to do to get there? And for you guys, it's maybe 200,000 this year. It may be 80,000. It may be getting out of your job and making $10,000 a month. Whatever your situation is. Okay, but let's just say I want to make $200,000 this month. How do I get there? Okay, so let's just say that's the goal. All right, so we'll say 200,000. That's the goal for this month. All right, so what do I need to do to get to that number? What is that? That's basically 50 grand a week, right? 50K a week. So what do I have to do to get to 50K a week? Basically 10 grand a day, right? 10K a day, right? Fantastic. Based on the deals that I'm working on, and it depends on, I'm talking about, this is basically set aside for one income stream. This is not bracketing out across multiple income streams. You would have a separate one for each income stream that you got. But let's just say for 200,000, so it's $10,000 a day. And by $10,000 a day, I mean on a 5-day work week. Okay, so I assume you're going to take 2 days off. So what do you have to do to get to $10,000 a day? Right? What do we have to do on average? Based on the average profit per deal, if it's an REI, what would we have to do to get to here? You know what? Let me do this. Let me do this differently for you guys, so because it's too much. I know you guys can't wrap your head around it. So we'll do this as at here, 100,000 a year. Okay, so here's our goal. It's 100,000 for the year. Which, by the way, if you're doing what I'm showing you how to do here, this should not be your goal, 100,000 per year. Because you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's, what is that? 83.33 per month. Okay, times 12 equals your 100,000. Very simple. So what do you have to do to get there? So 100,000 is 83.33 a month. We break that out on this situation based on the average deal size. If I tell you to go out there and, you know, don't work on deals under 400,000, so the average revenue per transaction at a minimum is going to be, here, what is that? Say 5% down, 20,000. So you take 400,000 times 6.5%. So we have so 26 grand. Okay, so that's one transaction, $26,000 in revenue on one transaction. If it's a joint venture deal, you'd be getting half of that. Okay, so where does that put you? That puts you at 13,000. Okay, revenue per deal. So you have to effectively do one deal per month at that amount, right? To break past the 83.33 per month. For you guys that are on the group JVP or on the one-on-one JVP, obviously you have seen deals. You know, we're actively working with people that have this and more to put down. We're actively working on properties that would require, they're a lot more expensive than 400,000. So you can see very easily how this plays out. So one deal per month. Okay, so what do you have to do to get to one deal per month? Very simple. You take a look at how many prospects or qualified prospects based on your closing ratio do you have to talk to. Okay, I'm talking about they are qualified, they have the cash, they have an immediate need to move, they're ready to go right now. How many, based on your closing ratio, would you have to talk to? I'm going to say your closing ratio is terrible. I'm going to say that for that to be the case, you'd have to talk to 4 qualified prospects per month. Okay, and you're going to close 25% of them. Okay, that's we're going to say your closing ratio is 25%, which is terrible. But let's just say that's what it is. You're burning up 3 qualified leads because you can't close, okay? Because you don't know how to professionally sell and close. But I'm gonna help you with that, okay? So let's just say that's the case. So what do you have to do? So that is what? What does that equal out to? That equals out to 1 qualified lead a week, okay? So what do we have to do to get to 1 qualified lead per week? How many total leads per week do we have to get to the 1 qualified lead per week? How many would that be? Let's say your marketing is terrible. Okay, let's say that you're just not doing it right, and you have to talk to 10 of them. 10 to get 1. Right? So let's break that down even further. So now we have 10. We got to talk to 10 leads to get 1 qualified lead. Okay, or I'm sorry, that's not right. 10 to get 4. Okay, that's per week. So say so that's 40%. You know, we'll make it even worse. Let's make it worse. Say it's 16, so now you're at 25%. Okay? So you got to talk to 16 leads to get 4 that are qualified to finally close 1. Fair enough? That's easy, right? So what is that? 4 people per week. That's not even, that's less than 1 per workday per week. Right? Does that make sense? Everybody, you see that? So here's what happens in reality, okay? In reality, if you work this and you do it exactly the way that I'm going to show you how to do it, if you actually get your 4 people per week and you get them on the phone and you're pre-qualified, this is I'm talking about buyers now, which I show you how to get them for free. You guys can listen to me, and you guys have seen this before if you've been in the group or whatever it is. I can do 1 Facebook ad Okay, not even an ad. Let me rephrase that. One Facebook post on my personal timeline, and I could have 4 people raise their hand in less than probably 30 minutes that they want to buy a house. Okay, they don't qualify for a mortgage and they want to buy a house. You guys have seen me do it. I've seen you guys do it, and I see you stop doing it because zero consistency. Right? We go back to what we talked about beforehand. There's zero consistency. You do it, it works, and then you stop doing it. Right? This is how you get into not closing, and this is how you get into roller coaster income and sales. There has to be consistency of prospecting on a daily basis, whether you feel like it or not. If you don't feel like it, go get a $2 an hour VA, give her access to your Facebook login, and let her post your stuff, and you guys can be generating, leads for free off of Facebook every single day without paying for them. When I'm talking about Facebook ads, we haven't even gotten to that part yet. Okay, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But if this is your goal is $100,000 a year, okay, I mean, this is like really underachieving, so, understand it for what it is, for the opportunity that you have in front of you on the REI side, and especially if you're in the group JV or you're on the one-on-one JVP where half the work is already done for you, and there is no deal that's going to yield, let's see, do we have any deals? I don't think there's any deals that's going to yield less than $7,500 right now with the ones that we're working in a 50% commission split, so you're almost there, right? But this is what you have to do. You got to start off with a goal. You got to know what your goal is, and you got to break it down to exactly what you need to do. So now that we know we need to talk to 4 people per week, 1 per workday per week, what do we do? What are our actions in order to do that, okay? So if we list those out over here, so we need to talk to 4 people per week. Okay, how can we do that? Let's talk about all of them. We've covered this stuff before, but you guys get rusty or you forget or you stop doing it. So Facebook posts for free. Boom, there's 1. Craigslist ads. Boom, for free. There's another 1. Mortgage brokers. Another 1. Free. Okay. All right. What else? Okay. Oh, here we go again. LinkedIn. I always forget that one. I guess I'm not good at LinkedIn marketing because I really haven't done it. So very good. LinkedIn. Okay. Instagram. Somebody was doing stuff on Instagram and getting leads coming in. I don't even know how they did it, but they were doing it. What else? What else is out there? You guys got Snapchat? What else? What other social media profile things are you guys on? Twitter? I've never done it. I guess I should try that. Do a test on Twitter. What else? Come on, guys. What else are you guys on? Where are you spending your time all day, every day? Okay. When you're not on Facebook, what are you on? Reddit. Okay, Damon, help me understand that. What would you do on Reddit to generate a buyer lead? You can educate me here. I typically go to Reddit to see controversial stuff or something funny somebody's posted. Okay. Yeah, Joshua, newspaper. I mean, I guess people still read the newspaper. I mean, that would be paid. You could do that. I think there's a lot easier, cheaper, faster methods. But hey, old school, nothing like the old school. So we'll say newspaper, right? Classifieds. Okay. Post Everbright. I don't even know what Everbright is. Mario Finkbeiner. What is Everbright? I don't know what that is. Okay. Anybody know what Everbright is? I don't know what that is. Okay, we'll put it on here though. Everbright. Fantastic. Right? What about YouTube? Did you pull somebody from YouTube? I don't know. Right? All free social media stuff that's out there. Everbright is an event ticketing service. Okay, so how would you generate people from that? And forgive the ignorance, but I don't understand the platform. Stacy says I use Reddit. Is it Reddit or RedX? We're talking about 2 different things for loss mitigation, but it leads of those who want to sell their home that are in pre-foreclosure. They also have expired listings. Fantastic. Perfect. Because guess what? Those properties, when you start marketing them, they will generate buyer leads off of Craigslist for free. Okay. Mario says that everybody is similar to Craigslist. Okay. I'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar with it. Okay. Yeah, no, RedX, I don't know what RedX is. So I'm not listening, guys. I don't know everything. Even if I try to tell you that I do, I don't. I've never heard of if it's RedX. Is that what you're saying? RedX? Okay. Mario says Active Rain. Okay, you probably have to educate me on that one too, because I know I was on Active Rain a decade ago, and it was predominantly real estate agents. So what are you going to do? Go after Expired listings, you're going to go after the ones that have buyers that don't qualify. So they're dead leads. Yeah, okay, that could absolutely work. Very smart. So we'll put that on here. All right. So there you go, right? Okay, and she says red X. So red X. Red X, I haven't heard of red X. Okay, cool. So what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we eliminate the newspaper one, which I'm not suggesting that you eliminate the newspaper one, but because it costs money and the rest of these don't, let's say we take that one out. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different sources right there that you can do something on right now today. Okay, right now today to generate your 4 people per week. Okay, so that you can get, that's 4 people per week. I mean, hell, if you did that today, so like as soon as you get off this webinar, say how long would that take you to do that? A Facebook post takes, what, 30 seconds? I've even given you the stuff before to show you how it works. Craigslist ad, another 2 minutes because of all the stupid screens you got to go through. Mortgage brokers, how many of those could you contact if you follow the power of 8 today? Those take time because you're going to talk to people. LinkedIn is a post, so we got, let's say this is 5 minutes. Well, Facebook post, a minute. Craigslist ads, 2 minutes, that's 3 minutes. LinkedIn, another minute, that's 4 minutes. Instagram, another minute, that's 5 minutes. Twitter, another minute, 6 minutes. Everbright, I don't know how long that would take to post that, say 2 minutes, so that's 8 minutes. YouTube, you have to actually put a video together, but you guys do your Facebook Lives or do your own slideshow or whatever, so that could take half an hour to put up. Active Rain, that's going to be another post or 2, right? And then whatever Red X is, I don't know enough about that to say how long that would or would not take. But out of those, you could generate more than 4 people today, okay, that are qualified, not just people to talk to, okay, that you'd have to pre-qualify. You could generate. I'm going to tell you right now, we'll do it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it. Today's kind of a weird day because it's a holiday and a lot of people are off goofing off. So the engagement is not going to be on Facebook what it typically, or maybe it would. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're horsing around on Facebook because they're not at work. I will do a Facebook post and then we will gauge what my engagement is off of that, and then we can track it to show you, okay, I did a post. How many? You'll be able to see it. I can't hide it from it. It'll be totally transparent on my own timeline. How many people raised their hand? Okay, from those, you know, what turned into something? Because I'm gonna give one of you guys the leads anyway. Okay, once I've got them through that process, and I'll pre-qualify. I'll even pre-qualify them. So you don't have to do that. I'll pre-qualify them, take them through the process, and then how many people do you think I can get just off of one Facebook post or off of? I've got, I don't know how many pages I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do 1, 2, 3 main pages. My own personal thing. I got the virtual real estate investor one, and then I got the other fan page thing. If I do 3 of those, we will gauge and see how many buyer leads I can generate today. You guys will be able to see it, okay? And you'll say, oh, yeah, it works, or no, it doesn't. Every time we've ever done this, I mean, like within minutes, we have people raising their hand, okay? Now, they're not all, because these are not very targeted. You need to understand that. These are not, I'm not, unless I go in there and say, hey, look, who's looking for a house above $300,000 or above $2,000 a month? You know, who wants to buy a home at this price point, blah, 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 no credit qualifying. So unless I target it, sometimes we've got people at the lower end. So I'll do that, okay? I'll make it even harder on myself, and I'll do targeting, okay? So it's very, very specific. We can do them kind of side by side. I'll do 2. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do 2 of them. So we'll do a beta split test. I'll do one that doesn't have anything to do with price points, and I'll do one that specifically states the price point, and we'll see what the response is, okay? And then Craigslist ads, you guys do this. I mean, there's no way that you can't get a hold of 4 people today if you did even half of these, okay? But you only need 4 per week, and then out of those 4 per week, you know, it's 1 per work day, right? Or did I do that wrong? I did that wrong. Sorry. No, that's right. That's right. Because it's based on a month. So it's 4 people per week. I'm thinking on like a day. Those numbers are really low. So, but you can do that today, okay? for today that would then get you to this number of what you could talk to and then be actively working on a deal, whether we go buy them a home or whether we have something in inventory that already works for them, okay? So what I always did in sales, regardless of what I was selling, was exactly what I'm showing you right here. What's the goal? How much do I do? Do I need to make 20 grand this month? Do I need to make 30 grand this month? Do I need to make 100 grand this month? What do I need to make this month? Okay, based on my closing ratio, which is on pre-qualified. This is pre-qualified now. Leads is about 80%. Okay, because when I'm working my own stuff, you know, it's very, very targeted. They're all pre-qualified, and it's about an 80% closing ratio. Nobody closes 100%. Not even me. Wish I did, but I don't. There's all kinds of reasons why that's the case. Sometimes you just don't click with people, whatever, even if they are pre-qualified. But say 80%. And so I would bracket it down, say, okay, to get to my monthly amount of money that I need this month for my goal, what do I have to do? And I had this broken out on a legal pad. Okay, sat right there on my desk. Now that's old school. So this is before we had iPhones and all this other stuff, but or iPads and all that. But legal pad right there on the side of my desk. So it was like right there, staring me in the face all day, every day. I knew exactly what I had to do. Okay. And then here's my how to eat an elephant. Here's my how to eat an elephant plan. What I have to do. Okay. Now where are they coming from? Now I know where they're coming from. What do I have to do? Well, this becomes my daily action plan. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start putting my ads out there. I'm going to do what's necessary to generate those prospects to get them coming in. And when they come in, we run them through the pre-qualification funnel. Okay. To give it to the pre-qualified people to then close them. This is what most of you guys are not doing. Okay? You're not consistently, actively doing this on a daily basis because of, you know, bright shiny object of Facebook, or you do it and you know, it's not a lay down. Somebody doesn't just fall on your lap and roll over and give you money, and you get discouraged and that kind of thing. But you need to understand something. You don't have to understand this, but I mean, I'm here to try to help you. You got to understand you know, we talked about this before. I wasn't even aware of this until a couple of weeks ago, but because it really seems like a low number to me. But 200,000 puts you in the top 1.5% income earners on Earth. Okay, so you guys hear about the 1% all the time, right? The 1%, blah blah blah, all that crap about the 1%. I'm thinking 1% are like billionaires and stuff, but it's not even the case. 1% is 435,000 or more annually. Okay, so 200,000 is going to put you in the top 1.5% of income earners on Earth. So what's the point? What's the point? Why am I showing you this? Here's why. My mentor told me this a long time ago. Vincent, so I'm telling you guys, pay attention, right? Can anybody finish this for me? What am I going to type next? Put it over here in the question box. What am I going to type next? If it was easy, here we go. You guys got it. Cheryl and Stacy. Everyone would be doing it. Right? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. They're not. Why are they not doing it? Because it's not easy. Oh, man, all my girls got it. Anna got it. Erica got it. Oh, Joshua, you're not a girl, but you got it. Fantastic. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, okay? So here's the thing. You guys got to understand it for what it is. You want this, whatever this is for you, okay, whatever this number is for you, you want this. Here's how to get it. This is what you're going to have to do, okay? This is the status that it's going to put you in, and you need to understand that initially it is probably, more than likely, going to be hard. Okay? And if you're one of my buddies, what am I going to tell you? What am I going to tell you? Suck it up, Buttercup. Okay? Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. They're not doing it because it's not easy. Okay? So you want to be doing what everybody else is doing, the masses, the herd, all of that, struggling. Okay, Grant Cardone came out with this a couple years ago, and I was not aware of this at the time either. It was a great statistic. 76% of the population is what? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know what the answer is? 76% of the population is... Anybody know? Erica, lazy. Okay. That may indirectly be the answer, but that's not the answer that I was looking for based on the statistic. Oh, Cheryl, paying attention. Yeah, Stacy, yeah. So 76% of the population is broke. Yeah, so the statistic, the way he laid it out, 76% of the population is one missed paycheck away from bankruptcy. Okay? You hear that? 76% of the population. 76% of the population. Okay, guess what? I actually did a thing on Canva for this years ago. I'll repost it for you guys so you can see it based on the statistic. But they profess to be experts. Okay? All over Facebook. This is who you're getting most of your advice from. This 76% of the population. Okay? That's broke and one missed paycheck away from bankruptcy. And they only have one income stream. And they couldn't tell you how to make 100% of their money from the internet if they had to save their life. Okay? But they're out there giving you advice and telling you how to do real estate deals and telling you how to do all this other stuff, and you're listening to them because they come and go, hey, you guys want to hear something funny? This is crazy. I mean, I've been on like some crazy stuff, and you guys know I do all kinds of wild, crazy stuff and get into it with people and mix it up and all that and all this controversy. I had the funniest thing happen yesterday. I asked somebody a question. They were, guy was coming out and he said that they had done, and I wasn't even, here's a sad thing, okay? Sometimes I'm just trying to be a jackass. I was actually like looking for like, hey man, you know, help me understand this, right? I'm like, I don't know, this is, you know, you're obviously onto something here. Comes out and says that they replaced a window. This is on a commercial property. Replaced a window on the second floor. By window is like a big, like hallway length window. Replaced the window. Redid the blacktop on the asphalt or on the driveway, and then did a spruce up on the lobby of this commercial building. And as a result, was now going to be able to get an appraisal at 3 times the amount, which would then enable him to cash out, to then leverage the cash out into the next deal. And so I simply said, hey, help me understand something, how cosmetic improvements, you know, if you guys understand appraisals and what's called USPAP, the appraisal guidelines. For those of you who don't know what my background is, I spent 12 years in mortgage banking and financial services, owned a mortgage company. I've ordered, seen, reviewed, underwritten more appraisals than you can shake a stick at, both on residential and income-producing properties. So I know what the guidelines are. I know how things, I know where valuations come from, whether it's the comparable sales approach or the income approach, or there's also a cost to construct approach, whatever. But anyway, this is for commercial, so it's going to be based off the income approach. And I just simply asked them, hey, help me understand, how are you getting an appraisal? Like, okay, is this like some new lending product, or like what, you know, what's the deal here? It was a very honest question, not trying to create any type of whatever, not trying to say, hey, you're Polish, you know, whatever. I was like, help me understand, like, how is replacing, how is doing these cosmetic upgrades getting you 3 times the appraisal amount? I don't understand that. Help me, what am I missing here, right? And the truth was, okay, this is how it came out. The truth was that it had nothing to do whatsoever with the cosmetic upgrades that were done, that he was falsely or incorrectly identifying as deferred maintenance. Cosmetic improvements, you guys all know appraisal, there's a difference between a cosmetic improvement and a deferred maintenance improvement that negatively impacts the value. Cosmetic improvement would be you go from mica to granite. That's cosmetic, okay? Does not impact use, does not impact value. It does impact saleability from a standpoint of the consumer buying that home or whatever it is, because obviously granite is preferred, but adding granite to your house is not going to increase the value of the property from a standpoint of an appraisal. There's zero increase in value as a result, okay? Because it's cosmetic. Okay? There's nothing wrong with the Formica countertop or the Corian countertop, whatever it is, that all functions properly, assuming it's not chipped up and beat up and all that I'm talking about. Fully functional Formica, fully functional Corian. You're not getting any kind of increase in value based on adding granite. Okay, if somebody tells you that, they don't know what they're talking about. Talk to an appraiser. That's not accurate because they're comparing comparable sales, square foot to square foot, bedrooms to bedrooms, closets to closets. Pardon me, bathroom to bathroom. So anyway, so we go back to this thing, and essentially what had happened was when they bought the property, they had a 15% occupancy, and now they had 100% occupancy. I'm like, okay, well, that's the answer. There's your answer, okay, because you're talking about doing something on the income approach, right? Now there's obviously that much more income coming in, so yes, the value is there because now you have net operating income that is, whatever it is, eightfold of what it was beforehand. So yes, now I get that, but it has nothing to do with these cosmetic upgrades of a window and new blacktop on the asphalt in the parking lot, and whatever the cosmetic upgrades were in the lobby, right? And oh my God, who would have thought I had called his mother a name? They ended up coming all over me because I made the mistake of stating fact, and that was because of the increase in income. That's where the 3 times appraised value is coming from, based on the income approach, which is what commercial is based off of. And I mean, immediately they launched into ad hominem attacks, and we know what we're doing, and you're transgender, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? I've been called a lot of things before, and a lot of different things, but it was just like, but these are the people that you guys are getting advice from, okay, on Facebook. So when I tell you to do your due diligence and vet everything, this is why. Okay, because there's all kinds of just tripe that is put out there, and there are people that act as experts that have absolutely no credibility as experts whatsoever. Okay, and then they try to start giving you the resume and all that. Okay, so understand that. Okay, so 76% of the population, one missed paycheck away from bankruptcy. Don't let that be you, and you don't. It doesn't have to be you. But guess what you're going to have to do? Right? You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do this if you want consistent income. And like I said, 100,000 really shouldn't be your goal. But if you've never made 100,000 in a year, go ahead and set that as your goal right now, and go ahead and start working that process based off of your numbers and your closing ratio. And when you put your numbers in here for if you've never closed and you don't know what your closing ratios are, then it's okay to err on the low side, okay? And yeah, err on the low side in that you're going to have to do more than what may actually be reality. So to get to, it may not be 16-4, maybe it's 26-4. Horrible numbers, but let's just say that's what it is. Well, then go ahead and err on that side and work like crazy and do all of this stuff, okay, to be able to get there, and then you'll be able to very quickly determine what your closing ratio is in reality, and then you can adjust accordingly. But if you do this, I'm going to tell you guys this. You guys have heard, some of you guys have heard this before. It bears repeating again. Okay, I want to see you guys be successful. You can all be successful. There's no reason everybody that's on this webinar right now can't be achieving the income. You've got the greatest, I mean, absolute greatest invention in human history at your fingertips. The levels the playing field. It's called the internet. It's a 24/7 global cash register, okay? And if you're not maximizing it, you're not monetizing it, and you're simply giving all of your time and energy to monetize the platform for somebody else that's going to sell ads and do this other stuff, then that explains why you're at where you're at, why you are where you are, and you need to understand it for what it is and have some self-awareness as to what you're doing on a daily basis as far as your actions are concerned. Are your actions this? Is this what you're doing? Or are you out there watching cat videos and posting pictures of your cheesecake? You know what I mean? So figure that out for what it is, okay? This is what you need to be doing if you want to get to whatever your goal is. Now, the very first guy that I ever showed this to, I learned it from Brian Tracy, so this is not me coming up with how to eat an elephant plan. I got it from Brian Tracy back when I was in my 20s, possibly even before that. And I worked at, for those of you that are in Atlanta, you know who John Whelan Homes and Neighborhoods is, largest private builder. in Atlanta at the time. This goes back 20 years ago. I was doing half a billion. One guy, I knew him personally, met with him many times, and I worked on in their mortgage, their own mortgage company. I worked in the mortgage company for them, and I waltzed in, of course, and got my own office. Meanwhile, they got the guys out there in cubicles and all that. This is not me bragging again. It's just because of my experience and what I was able to do revenue-wise. I came in right out of the gate, started making, top of the leaderboard, number one sales guy, all that. And there was a guy, super nice guy, that sat right outside my office, and he's like, "How are you doing that, right? How do you do that? How do you just come in here?" Because he'd been there with him. He'd never made more than $5,000 a month. Super nice guy. Okay, never made more than $5,000 a month. And I sat him down and I walked him through on a legal pad his how to eat an elephant plan, and we broke out based on his numbers, based on his closing ratio, based on the number of prospects he was talking to, where they were coming from, what exactly he was going to have to do on a daily basis to get to the number. And his number was 100,000 for the year. That was his number. He'd never made more than 60. It was his best year. We make 100,000. Okay, not a problem. Let me show you how to do it. And I sat him down. I said, "Now this is what you got to do." Okay, and if at the end of the day at 5 o'clock when everybody else is taking off, if you don't have this done, okay, you how to eat an elephant plan, what you got to do, your active things to get your prospects coming in, whatever that ends up being, however many calls that takes, however many people you got to go see, whatever ads you got to run, whatever. If that's not done, then guess what? You don't leave. Okay, you stick here. It's responsibility first, then play, and then you take care of what your responsibility is to get to that number. Same thing. Like it's like Friday night. It's time to go home for the weekend, and the stuff's not done. You haven't gotten everything done for the week. Then Saturday, guess what you're doing, right? Sorry that it's Saturday, but you got to get this done. If this goal is important to you, and if it's not, go play video games. I mean, there you go. But if this goal is important to you and you're serious, most people are not. Okay, understand that for what it is. Most people are not. But if you're serious about this goal, whatever it is for you, then this is what you got to do. Okay. This is what successful people do. We know exactly what the numbers are. We know exactly on a daily basis what we have to do to be able to get to the numbers, the prospects, the traffic, if it's a funnel that's coming in, how many of those are going to close, what kind of churn rate do you have, blah, 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 all these different things depending on what you're doing. You're going to have to do this, okay? It's all, as much as I'm not an analytical and hate spreadsheets and this kind of stuff, this is what you have to do to break things down so every single day when your feet hit the floor, there's no guesswork in what you have to do to make $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 a year, whatever your number is, okay? And if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to be one of these people. Where are they at? 76% population. One missed paycheck away from bankruptcy. That's where you're going to end up being, unfortunately. And I wish that on you. You don't have to be that way. I'm showing you it right now, okay? But like I said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and it's not easy. Initially, it's not easy. It does get easier, but it only gets easier if you consistently do it. And most people don't do that because when they were brought up as kids or whatever, mom and dad, or mom or dad, if you were like me and you didn't have a dad around, whatever, did not tell them the reality of what was going to have to happen. They did not instill work ethic in them. They did not instill integrity. They did not instill in them that, hey, even if you don't, it's like Brian Tracy says, okay? You guys haven't read Brian Tracy. There's a lot of great nuggets of stuff that he puts out over and over and over again, and it really helped shape me and a lot of what I do. Okay, and so we talk about working. What does he say? When you work all the time you work. When you work, don't waste time. Okay, that means when it's time to go to work, focus on getting this done. Don't get distracted on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, Snapchat or whatever, or the TV, football, whatever it is. Don't get your stuff done. Okay, get it done. If you get it done, guess what happens? This is a foregone conclusion. So this kid comes in. We lay out his how to eat an elephant plan. He starts to work it to make his $100,000 a year. And he did exactly what I told him to do. It was a machine. He's like a robot. Okay, super nice guy, highly analytical, not the greatest closer, but very personable. But with a plan, which nobody had ever given it to him before, no sales manager, nobody had ever given it to him before, to show him exactly what he had to do to reach his income goal. So he's out there flying blind, which most of you probably are as well. Okay. If I said to you, you guys answer in the chat box, be honest. I don't have to put, if you don't want to put your name out there, I won't. But how many of you actually have written goals? Here, you know what? Hold on. Let me do a poll. Do a poll real quick. We'll do 2 polls here real quick. Okay. Where is it? I want to create a poll. How do we do that? Create a poll. Okay, so you have written goals. Yes. No. What are goals? Okay, there's that one. So you guys go ahead and answer that. It doesn't. You guys go ahead and start answering that. How many of you have written goals? I already know what the number is, by the way. Okay. I already know what the number is. So there's your poll. There's poll number 1. You guys go ahead and start answering that. If you guys want to hear what the number is, here's the number. Ready? I love this. Now, this may not be the number based on this webinar because I hammer this stuff home, but if you want to know, there it is in real life. 3% of the population has written goals. Okay. 3% of the population has written goals. Here's another statistic you'll love. % of the population also, amazingly, miraculously, oh, sorry. Thanks for telling me I forget when the whole thing is up, you can't see anything else. Okay, so in our poll thus far from people, 63% of you filled the poll out. Of the 63% that did respond, 67% said they do have written goals, 33% said they do not. Now, if you do not have written goals, okay, your job, mission number 1, is to, when you get off this webinar, is to go determine what your goals are, okay? Okay. So there it is. 67% of you said yes, I do. 33% said no, I don't. Okay. So here, we'll go ahead with this one too. For those of you that do have written goals, okay, goals without action plans are wishes. Okay, they're not really goals. But for those of you that do have written goals, which I commend you, I'm not criticizing you, but I do commend you for that. Okay. Right. For those of you that do have written goals, do you have a how to eat an elephant plan, your action plan, that you know exactly what you have to do every single day to get there? Okay? It's called the How to Eat an Elephant plan, by the way, because how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's what you're doing is you're breaking down this big, gigantic monster that you have to eat and swallow into bite-sized portions, because your brain psychologically, if I tell you you got to make $1 million in the next 12 months, most of you would like implode psychologically because you don't know how to do that. Your brain can't extrapolate how to get from where you are today to be able to make $1 million. But then if I say, okay, look, I'm going to help you make $1 million. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do here. You're going to then go do it. $1 million, we'll break that out. It's no different than 100,000. Okay, just there's one more number at the end. So now we're going to make, instead of 8,333 per month, we're going to make 83,333 per month. You guys have never made that much in a month before. Okay, that can seem insurmountable. It's insurmountable until you do it. Okay, but you're never going to do it if you don't have the written goal and the action plan on how to get there. But if I gave you that written action plan and said this is all you have to do, okay, then you would achieve the goal. All things being equal. Just like the guy did. So what happened in his scenario is he went out there and he worked his little How to Eat an Elephant plan every single day. And about 3 weeks later, he comes into my office and he's got this Cheshire cat, you know, grin ear to ear on his face. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, it's like this like weird look on his face, right? And he says, he tells me that tomorrow, his wife is going to be freaking out. I'm like, why? And he says, well, tomorrow is we get payday, we get a direct deposit overnight. And I'm like, well, okay, so why is she going to be freaking out? And he's like, well, because I made $12,000 this month because I worked the plan, right? How to eat an elephant. This guy never made more than $5,000 in a month before previously, made 12 grand the very first month following the How to Eat an Elephant plan. So roughly 2.5 times what he'd ever made in a month before, month one, simply working daily consistently his How to Eat an Elephant plan. Okay? Makes 12 grand. Wife's going to be freaking out. She's never seen that kind of a direct deposit before. She's going to think something is wrong. Think about that for a second. Okay? Right? So think about that for a second. The wife is going to think something's wrong because he got a 12. I mean, that's like, as a man, that's a horrible feeling. Your wife is going to think something is wrong because you got a $12,000 direct deposit. Okay? So he does that, and he can now, guess what? He's a true believer, right? So before, here's your results, guys. 57% of you say you do have written action plans for your goals. 43% said no. The 43% of you that don't, you need to get them. Okay. When this is over, that's your function. Your number one objective is to go ahead and get those goals written, or the action plans written out. So what he ended up doing, and I'll show this. So you guys have probably, some of you have seen this before. I want me to beat people to death here, but it's important. Okay, because it's so easy to get distracted, especially with Facebook. Okay, so his goal was 100,000 a year. Okay, he made 12,000 month one, makes 18,000 month two, and makes 30,000 month three. So in 3 months, he made what he had made the entire prior year in his best year ever, 60 grand. And then he went on to break the 100,000 in less than 6 months. Okay, and that's what happens when you follow this plan. You have your goals, you bracket it out, you know exactly what you got to do on a daily basis, and then you've defined, okay, here's what I got to do. I'm going to go do this, right? I'm going to do this consistently. I know exactly what I have to do every single day. Okay. Now, here's the thing. This is one of the and by the way, before I even get into that, anybody that I've ever told this to that's actively worked it, every single one of them blows through their annual goal in 6 months or less. Okay, so the annual goal that you think is they call it a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. If you work the plan, what happens is you get all kinds of ridiculous momentum in a snowball, and they end up breaking through the annual goal in 6 months or less. And that's exactly what will happen to you. I'm telling you. I want somebody, I would love nothing more than for several of you to say, hey, you know what? I'm man enough, I'm woman enough, I'm going to step up to the plate, I'm going to put it all out there, okay? I'm going to leave it out, it's like playing football, I'm going to leave it all out on the field, I'm taking nothing off the field with me. I'll be part of an accountability group with, 2 or 3 or 5 other people. We'll post in this group, hey, here's what my goal is, here's my How to Eat an Elephant plan, this is what I did today, and then I'm going to show the world totally transparently that this is what I'm doing to get there. And prove me right or prove me wrong. Okay, because I'm telling you, I know like I know, because I've been doing this a long time, if you will do this, if you will follow through and you will do it consistently, okay, this is what happens. And it cannot happen any other way. It cannot happen any other way. Do you guys understand that? It can't happen any other way. These are your numbers that you developed, that you came up with based on your personal results. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't modify them over time, but when we break through closing ratios based on the number of leads that are coming in, whether it's an REI, whether it's traffic to a funnel where you're selling a course or ebooks or whatever, it cannot happen any other way. Okay, what most people do not do is what? This consistently. Whatever their plan is for whatever it is, they don't do this consistently. They don't prospect consistently. You guys have heard me say this time and time again. You guys all know McDonald's is the #1 restaurant corporation in the world. Every kid on earth knows what a Happy Meal is, right? But what do they do every single day? Anybody? What do they do? Every single day, what does McDonald's do? Prospect. That's right, Joshua. They prospect every single day. All right? They prospect every single day without fail. That's what they do. Why? Why? Because they got a goal. It's not 100,000 a year. They got a goal, right? They know that they're not going to reach that goal if they don't market and prospect every single day of the year. Okay, they advertise. That's right. Same thing for them. It's advertising, prospecting, building relationships, setting up things so that they're the only provider at a baseball field or whatever. That's what they do, right? They're actively out there doing it every single day. Now, if that's what the #1 restaurant corporation in the world does, is it reasonable to think that you, in trying to break out of a slave job, or you trying to break through the barrier of $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000 or $1 million a year, is it reasonable to think that somehow you're going to defy the laws of business in the universe and be able to do something that multi-billion-dollar international companies can't do, with the largest think tanks and advisors in the world? And the answer to that, my friends, unfortunately, is no, it's not reasonable. So, again, here we go. You're going to have to suck it up. I mean, if the goal is worth it, Joshua said this earlier, if the goal is worth it, you're going to have to suck it up. Okay? You're going to have to make it important. You're going to have to make it a priority. Okay? I can lay out the plan for you. I cannot work the plan for you. I can tell you what will work. Okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm telling you, and if anybody wants to step up and raise their hand, go ahead and do it over in the question box so I can see it. Anybody man enough, woman enough, entrepreneur enough to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll take some accountability. Yeah, I'll put it out there. I'll put my goal out there, my action plan out there, and then every single day I'll go out there and say, yes, I did it today, right? And I'll show the world, what those results are, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if you work this and your numbers are realistic, it's like I told you, I know what my closing ratios are with pre-qualified prospects, okay? Highly pre-qualified prospects that I filter down, I know exactly what my closing ratio is going to be. And if you don't know that yet, that's fine. You got to, work into it. It may take a month or so to figure out, pardon me, what your numbers are. And you may have to tweak. That's the beauty of these things, is you can tweak as you get new additional information in. Okay. All right. So Mario and Cheryl both say they'll do the accountability group. Let me just put to you like this, guys. And I'll tell you this. Okay. This is me giving you some tough love. And this is me giving you some butt meat boot coaching, and this is me being a jackass. Okay, all three combined. So you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're not willing to do this and be a part of the accountability thing, you're really not serious. Okay, you're on here wasting time, getting entertained on this webinar. Okay, I'm just telling you that right now. You're on this webinar getting entertained. It's more mind mush. You might as well just go watch TV, go watch some stupid sitcom or reality, the Kardashians or something like that. But if you're not where you want to be, if you're working a slave job, if you're not in a 6-figure income or 7-figure income business, if you're don't have multiple streams of income, multiple streams of internet income, okay, you're out there and you're not willing to lay it out and say, hey, this is my goal, here's my how to eat an elephant action plan, and I'm going to go into this accountability group and be held accountable. Because here's the problem, and I'll tell you this, okay? I will be the first one to admit this, and I struggled with this myself when I first went commission only, and then probably not as much commission only, but it's easy to get, it's easy to get comfortable when you're making a certain amount of money. But especially when I went self-employed, okay, it's very when you're in an environment where you don't have a boss, okay, it's very, very easy to get complacent. Okay, because you got nobody looking over your shoulder, and complacency is a killer. Okay, because complacency means that you're not doing this. You're not prospecting. You're not doing what needs to be done, and then you end up with the lovely roller coaster income. Okay, and it is horrible. Okay, the problem that you run into is that most people, sadly, I was one of them, so I'm not criticizing anybody here, but sadly, most people require some type of supervision. They need to be monitored. They need to be. Yes, you can't see the screen. Is it doing that again? Everything. You should be able to see the screen. If you can't see it, let me know. Screen is frozen. That's not goal again. Okay. I can't remember what I did last time when that happened. Everything is closed. Well, whatever, just you can listen. What I typed was complacency is a killer. Okay. Complacency is a killer, right? And so the accountability deal, when you're first starting out, if you're not used to holding yourself accountable, if you're married and you got kids and all that's a little bit easier because you know you got responsibility, you got somebody there that you're going to have to answer to. You got mouths to feed. You got a husband and wife, somebody there that's going to be like, hey, we got bills to pay. A little bit easier when you got it's like here, probably the easiest way to put this, and this is going to sound terrible, but as a sales manager or as a general manager or as a business owner, the salespeople that I look for is I wanted people that were married and that had a lot of expenses. Okay, that like to live large. Why? Anybody know why? These are going to be the best salespeople out there. The reason is because they got to do it. They got to. They don't have a choice. Okay, they don't have to be managed. All right, they know what their nut is, and they got to crack that nut every single month. And I want people with lots of debt. I don't really want them to have debt, but I'm with from a metric of who you're looking for when you're a salesperson or a sales manager or general manager. You want people that are married because they got somebody else chirping at them other than you. Better if they're married and have kids because now they got a real other reason, and if they got debt too, that's even better because they got a reason to get up and get to work, okay, and to close and to make money. They got obligations. That's right, Cheryl. Okay, motivated by the lifestyle and all that. That's absolutely correct. Okay, and that's not meant to sound evil on my part, but that's what you look for. I mean, it's a reality. Okay, this is kind of stuff they don't teach you in these courses, but this is the reality on the street. Okay, that's who you want as the general manager. Now, the flip side of that is you got to watch them because they can get into trouble. You're the first person they're going to steal from, so you got to be careful there too. But nonetheless, all right. So that being said, let's go back and review. Can you guys see the screen yet, or you can't see the screen? Because I was going to go ahead and give you guys some action plans right now. Is it still okay? When you say you can see it, what does it say, Joshua? So it's still stuck on the 100K. Okay, hang on. What do I need to do I can't remember what I did. We got stuck on this last. Or maybe it's stop showing screen and then show screen again. Okay. Okay. What about now? Okay, that's what. Okay, so I just have to stop and start it again. Okay, cool. All right, so here, let's go through this, all right? Because this is, listen, this is really meant to help you guys. I hope you guys can understand that, okay? And I'm not getting paid for this. So it's really designed to truly provide a ton of value to you. So your action plan, okay, after the webinar. Okay, so you're going to, for those of you that are serious, okay, which obviously is not everybody. We know that. But for those of you that are serious, your action plan is going to be, if you don't have written goals, write your goals. If you don't have action plans, how to eat an elephant plan, write how to eat an elephant plan and break it down, just like you saw me do. Okay. It's then going to be we're going to go over here. Pardon me. And once you've got your plan, yours may not be 4 people per week, it may be 24 people per week, whatever your number is. Here is a free Kickstarter on how you can generate leads for free today, immediately after you get done putting your thing together. So you're going to immediately begin prospecting. Okay. Okay. Those of you who raised your hand, I will set up another group. So message me, or are you guys all in the virtual real estate investor group? So you guys found me? Yes, there will be a recording and a replay, Erica. Anna, you're not in the virtual real estate investor group? How can you not be in the virtual? Okay, we need to get added to it. Yeah, Joshua, that's fine. I mean, we're already doing stuff in Florida now because of Robert Bennett. So Tampa to Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, that's fine. Those are as long as, again, we need to hit the right price points. So it really needs to be no less than 400,000. Okay, Alan, you're in the virtual. Okay, you guys are in. Anna's still not in. Okay, I'll add you to that. Yes, all over 400,000. Okay, cool. All right, Anna, so you're the only one that's not in the VREI group. I'll get you added to that. How'd you even find me? That's some unbelievable marketing there. Okay, so I'll get you added to that. But then I'm going to set up, or maybe I can just email you guys. I don't know. Here. We'll set up another group real quick. Let's just do it now. I can give you the link. Well, what should we call this? Call this. Okay, we'll call. Suck it up, Buttercup group. It's funny. We can name it later, but at least you'll know what it is. Okay, who do we got? Anna, Cheryl, Joshua, Mario. I don't know if you and I are you and I friends? I don't think we're friends. I don't know how you found me. Craig. Who else? Carlos. We're not friends? We gotta be friends, right? Ah, not friends. That's crazy. Okay, well, Carlos, you have to send me a friend request, otherwise I can't add you, brother. Okay, Alan Knowles. Alan, if we're not friends, I won't be able to add you either. I'll get you guys a link here, though. So here, go ahead and create that. And let's see. Icon. I like the gavel dropping the hammer. That's a good one. Yes, we'll do that one. You're being judged. Team. So good, team. Cool, team. Awesome. Okay, where is... Oh wow, they actually gave it to me. That's crazy. All right, I'll put this over here. We can always change this stuff later, but so you guys should have that now. Let me know if you don't. I sent it to all, the link. You can add it there. Now, do us all a favor. Do yourself a favor. Do us a favor and yourself a favor. Don't let this be another time waster for you, okay? I mean, this is one of those defining moments for many of you, okay? Or at least it can be. Okay? But it's not going to do any good if you do what many of you have done in the past, and I'm guilty of it myself, so that's why I recognize it, is don't just come out there and say, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then not do it, okay? Anybody can do that. That's not what you want, okay? You want to define is get your goals written out, because you know what? It's like what we do in the Slack channel, okay? We raise hell with each other all the time, but it'll be the same thing in here. You guys write your goals. Everybody's going to want to see what your goals are. Okay? You don't have to give everybody all your personal goals, but an income goal of some kind. How to eat an elephant plan. What is that? Let's see it broken out. Okay? Because collectively we can help tweak it for you. Okay? Immediately begin prospecting. Okay? We just laid the whole thing out. Okay? We laid all this out. And I don't know if I can copy this. Let me see. I will put it over here. There you go. There's all that. Okay, and then we'll do the test. All right, what I will do, and I'll drop this for those of you that are actually going to do this stuff, I'll drop the copy of what I'm going to do so you can just copy and paste exactly what I'm using. And you can see, as far as a Facebook post, how many buyers I get that raise their hand, okay, that are actively looking, that want a house, blah, 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 whatever, okay? So we'll do this, and then you guys can also post what your results are. Okay, so I can show you how easy it can be to get here if you'll simply follow these instructions. And then the Facebook thing for free, and then here's all these other things that we just discussed a minute ago, okay? But here's the thing, and this is what happens most of the time. People go to a webinar, there's no sales pitch here on anything. You guys already know about the group joint venture partner program. If you don't, you can private message me or whatever, if you know where the page is, you can go sign up for that if that's what you want to do, and you will be actively involved with what we're doing with the properties and the buyers that we're talking about going forward. But that's not the purpose of this webinar. This webinar is really designed to help get you guys moving in the right direction. That's why it's called the Monday Morning Mastermind. Trying to show you guys what I had to do, what I've always had to do ever since I first started making six figures. Many, what was it, 20 years? This is 97, I think it was, 96, 97. So this is what I did, okay? I did it on a legal pad, had it right there on my desk. Had it broken out. I knew exactly how many people I had to contact every single day to get to the numbers that I needed to meet my income goal for that month, okay? And then once I did that, here's the other thing I didn't tell you guys about. I've told you in some of the other ones. Once you get to your prospects that you've got closed, then every single day, what you're doing, what you're looking for is, move the deal to the next step. So you've closed on a prospect, okay? They're moving forward in a direction. If it's on a real estate deal, okay, sometimes that means that you've got to get the other half of the equation, a house or a buyer or a tenant or whatever type of deal you're doing. And so you have this list of prospects that you have closed that are moving forward, they've taken action and committed, and now you've got to see, okay, what are the steps in your sales process to get them to a funded deal if we're talking about REI. And then what I would do is I would just move them to the next step, okay? Move them to the next step. If you guys are in real estate, have been in real estate, I was in mortgage banking. It was very, very simple. So we get an appraisal ordered, right? If it's a purchase deal, we got to get all the docs in. We got to get good faith estimates out and the rest of the package. We got to get that signed and back in. We got to get the title ordered. We got all these different things that have to happen. Clear the title, get it into underwriting, clear the stipulations, get it clear to close, get it to the closing table, all this stuff. So every single day, and this is paper-based business, I had a whole set of like 4 or 5 different racks behind my desk loaded with manila file folders of deals I was actively working on. And my focus every day after I got into prospecting number 1, okay, to generate the new, keep the hopper full, and then I would look behind my desk and say, okay, how do I get every folder that's in this stack right here? What can I do today to push every folder that's in that stack over to the right to the next stack? Because we started on the left-hand side, and that was where the deal began. That was where I had to get an appraisal order and get the rest of the package. And then we moved progressively all the way to the end where we had a clear to close on the right-hand side. Okay, so that was my workflow. So after I did my prospecting to bring new deals in, the next thing is, okay, of the deals that I'm working on, what can I do on each one of those to get it moved to that next step so that we can get it closed and get paid, right? It's no different really here on the real estate investing side either, except these are a lot faster without all the red tape, thankfully, which I like. That's why I set it up that way. But that's what you're looking for, okay? So very simple. We've taken probably too long on this, but that's how this whole thing is set up, okay? If you want to be, whatever your number is up here, okay, blast out your how to eat an elephant plan. You guys are serious, go back through, where's it at? Here. This is your objective, okay, after the webinar. Now, who's going to raise their hand and say that they're actually going to do these things? Anybody? Anybody actually going to do this? Because what happens most of the time is I do this thing, I said, okay, now after the webinar, go do this, and nobody does it. And it became this monumental waste of my time. Okay? And yeah, thumbs up and all these things are wonderful. Okay? Right? But actions speak louder than words. Okay, Stacy, what's your question? I don't see the question. Let's see. Let me know what your question is because I'm about to end this anyway. Do you have a question? Don't have a question? How do you get past the first-time homeowners? How do you get? What do you mean? How do you get past them? How do you not attract them, or how do you what? How do you not attract them? You just don't. You market. You prospect for non-first-time homebuyer price points. You'll almost never have a first-time homebuyer in a normal market at $300,000 or above. And in the non-normal markets that are more expensive, like California and that kind of thing, at $500,000 or above. Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're marketing a property, the property is typically going to have a payment, and that payment would be a minimum of $2,000. In a normal market, that's a $300,000 price point, like Atlanta. Okay, and those are not going to be first-time home buyers, typically speaking. And in other markets, a minimum of $500,000, really probably closer to $750,000, but like we looked at Brandon, he's on here. He and I looked at this deal in Los Angeles that was $750,000 and was worse than the $350 a month quadruplex I lived in when I was broke and got out of the military and working at Outback Steakhouse. And in any other market, it would have been a teardown, but it was in LA. It was $750,000, and the guy was ecstatic to be able to, be looking at it. So it's really it's payment point and price point. That's how you avoid first-time home buyers. More expensive, typically they're going to have bought a home before, they're going to know what the process is. You're not going to deal with all the traditional headaches associated with first-time home buyers. And I'm telling you right now, you don't want to deal with first-time home buyers. Okay, let somebody else do that. You make less money, and it's 10 times the effort and work. And then something does, like I just said, like Lamont has. Oh, here's a good point. Sometimes you don't even want to deal with non-first-time home buyers. So Lamont, he's got a real estate license. He did a listing. He sold the house. They closed, I think, Friday of last week. And we had talked to the buyer. Let me back up. The seller of that property now needs another home. Does not qualify for mortgage financing. Sold her home. Right? Wouldn't move forward a month and a half ago when I told her to. Okay? And had all this stuff, whatever it is. Now that the home is sold, she has less than 10 days on the seller leaseback to get out of the property, and was giving him grief yesterday about, she's nervous and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I was just like, I had to tell him, like, look, tell her to go rent something, okay? We don't want this deal. Even though she's got the cash, she just closed, whatever, we do not want this deal. And let me explain to you why that is. Even though she's not a first-time home buyer, even though she's going into a price point that we want, even though she has the cash, she's looking for a problem. She's created, because she wouldn't take professional advice when I told her a month and a half ago, let's go ahead and get moving forward now so you don't get yourself into a meat grinder here with no place to go, and then it becomes this big major issue. Wouldn't listen to me, had every other reason not to do it. Now that she's closed, only has 10 days left, she's putting the pressure on Lamont, whatever, and I just told him, look, tell her to go rent something. So walk away. Because what ends up happening is then she moves forward, she's got 10 days left, she's got unrealistic expectations, and maybe we find a house that, is to her liking, and maybe we don't in that period of time. But nonetheless, it's just asking for trouble. And then he becomes no good SOB because he got to move forward, and now she has no place to live, and blah, 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 and ends up on the damn, internet or the nightly news or whatever as a scammer because she wouldn't listen. And so sometimes you got to know when to walk away from people, even if there's money on the table. Okay, and that's why I told him just walk away. And of course, as soon as he pulled the takeaway on her, then she starts, wanting to come back into line and all that. Sometimes you have to do that with people, but we're not going to get involved in a scenario that's a recipe for disaster designed to fail right out of the gate because somebody won't listen. Alan is asking what Eventbrite and RedX are. You're probably going to want to go back and watch the replay of the webinar. I guess Eventbrite, Alan or Mario, I'm sorry, Kim was mentioning that, and then RedX was Stacy. They would probably be better because I had not. I know Eventbrite. I thought I knew what that was, but I guess I was mistaken. And RedX I've never heard of, so I can't answer that for you. But they provided the links as different places to market for stuff. So anyway, there it is, guys. There's your action plan. If you're actually going to do it, do it. Okay. If you're not going to do it, fess up, own up. Don't do it. Don't say you're going to do it. Okay. Actions speak louder than words. You know the saying, money talks, BS walks. Let's make some money, right? Let's do this. If you're going to do this, do this. If not, don't do it. But don't kid yourself. Don't waste people's time. Just do it. Okay? Cool? Everybody got it? Happy? Fantastic. Well, I sincerely hope this was beneficial to you. You guys should all have the link for the Facebook group if you want to be a part of the accountability process. Truly for that, if you want to move forward on anything else that we talked about, you can hit me up via private messenger on Facebook, and I will get you added to the VREI group as well. And over and above that, have a wonderful afternoon, and let's go make some money.